Hello and welcome to this video on secondary program options for Cycle 2 students. My name is Mazzarelli, Lester B. Pearson School Board Education Consultant in Evaluation and Reporting. The learning paths and outcomes in our youth sector are designed to accommodate a diversity of learners. For most, they move through a common core curriculum in secondary Cycle 1 to a more diversified curriculum in Cycle 2 under two separate paths, the general education path and the applied education path. For the most part, the general and applied education paths offer the same subjects, and they are English, French second language, math, history and citizenship education, arts, physical education, and ethics and religious culture. Each path combines a variety of compulsory and optional subjects and brings together basic core education for all students and more specialized education corresponding to various interests and aptitudes. These two paths, starting in Secondary 3, differ in two areas. First, in the applied education path, students follow an applied science and technology program, which allows them to be involved in more technological applications in science. And second, students complete a personal orientation project involving work simulations and practical exercises to help them become familiar with employment functions in different fields. Exploratory options are also available to students in Secondary 4 through subjects like exploration of vocational training, better known as Explo, and entrepreneurship. Subjects like these allow for the exploration of different vocational training sectors and opportunities to develop an entrepreneurial spirit. It's important to note that both paths lead to the same high school leaving certificate and possible entry into CEGEP, followed by employment options or a continuation of studies at the university level and then on to the labor market. For those students who have the desire to be more hands-on and learn a trade by the end of Secondary 3 or 4, there are vocational education programs available through our adult education centers. In vocational education, students learn trades in sectors like beauty and healthcare, food and beverage, auto mechanics, electrotechnology, just to name a few. Keep in mind that transitions between most pathways and programs mentioned are possible if certain conditions are met. Therefore, mobility is always possible. And finally, for those students in difficulty looking for a new type of educational and work training leading directly to employment, there's the work-oriented pathway with two available work-study programs, a 3-year pre-work training program and a 1-year semi-skilled trade program, both not only leading directly to the job market, but under some conditions may also lead to vocational training programs or continued studies in general education. Who are these students in difficulty and why would they benefit from a program like the work-oriented pathway? Students in difficulty are students who, despite the support provided, have had and continue to have major learning difficulties in school and are in serious jeopardy of not obtaining a high school leaving certificate. They may have often experienced difficulties in the areas of language, attention, perception, memory, or may have an intellectual impairment. These difficulties often lead to a lack of motivation, which is related to a feeling of lack of control of their learning. Generally, it's through the process of developing and implementing an individual education plan that this pathway is given consideration to meet the student's individual needs. By providing a hands-on practical training program at their level, the programs in this pathway allow students to be fully involved, affirm themselves, and demonstrate their ability to succeed. Now, Peter Gilson, our consultant for the work-oriented training pathway, will provide more information about the programs.
Students must be 15 years old for both the 3-year program and the 1-year program. Pre-work training is spread out over 3 years with both academics and work skills training. Please note that as the program progresses, the hours of work training increases. Curriculum is diversified and prepares them to function in their work placements. Curriculum can be adapted to the needs of the student. Training for a semi-skilled trade is a 1-year program for students working on their Cycle 1 competencies and has a practical training component. Here is a sample of a pre-work training certificate, which is an official document from MELS. Here is a sample of a semi-skilled trade certificate. Semi-skilled students can go directly into certain voc-ed programs. Here are some websites that you can refer to.